subject.
Back in the 1950s, I had my first sighting, and it was a really weird sighting. I was a kid, and I was interested. And then I met a guy who said that he was the Pentagon's inside guy on UFO debris. And he said that they showed him a file cabinet that had debris from the crash at Roswell.
The Roswell story is the holy grail for UFO believers. In July of 1947, the Roswell Daily Record had a front-page story claiming that the Army had recovered a flying saucer. Everyone went crazy. People couldn't believe this was proof. Aliens are visiting Earth. But then the next day, they came out with a retraction and said, we made a mistake. It was just a weather balloon. To this day, it is the one story that almost all UFO believers stand by.
So this guy says that he had actual access to the remains of this crashed UFO.
Better. This guy said not only did he have access to the technology of this UFO, he said that he actually saw an alien body at Fort Riley, Kansas, in 1947 that was on its way up to Walter Reed Army Hospital for an autopsy.
I really like you a lot, and what I like about you is you got great stories and they're very dramatic, and if I had met you 20 years ago, I'd be hook, line, and sinker right now. But all I'm hearing is there's a guy who says this, and then he says that, and he says he did this. This is not evidence. This is a story. What would be the best piece of evidence that you could offer?
So here's a guy who was the public information officer at the Roswell Army Airfield. Okay, his name was Walter Haut. He was a lieutenant. So these two interviewers, they interview Walter Haut on tape. They get him to admit not only was there a real crash at Roswell, he saw the actual craft on an Army flatbed under a tarp, and they were rolling it out of the base.
I understand. I gotta stop. Okay, I asked you for evidence.
This is evidence.
A guy saying something is not real evidence.
Sure it is.
No, it's not. You're telling me stories.
I'm telling you
stories suck. They're great for campfires. But as far as evidence, they're not real.
Look, I'm more skeptical than you because
I'm just... how dare you?
Why?
Look me right in the eye and say you're a UFO skeptic.
I am a UFO skeptic, not a debunker.
I would love it if there was a UFO that I could see and touch.
You can on film.
No, you
They're
can't.
all over the place.
You can't touch anything on film.
You could touch it with your eyes.
I don't know
That's
what you're
touching.
talking about.
You can't cover this thing up because a lot of people are seeing UFOs and they're seeing them all over the world, right? But they figured out something even more brilliant. They said, what's the best way to hide something? Best way. Hide it in plain sight. Tell people it's something else and they'll just overlook it. Step two, if somebody reputable starts talking about UFOs, you can co-opt the person and say, hey, you want to know UFOs? We'll show you the real deal. But not only can you never talk about it publicly, you have to be a debunker publicly.
I'll tell the government right now, tell you right now if you're listening, NSA, CIA, I'm available, okay? If you show me all the real wreckage, I swear to God, I will make fun of that crap to the end of time. I'll make up stories. I'll lie to my mother. I don't care. You show me a UFO, I'll lie to my mother. Thank you very much for your time. That was very fascinating. Really interesting conversation.
One thing you